Hello dear students, welcome back once again to this video tutorial. Today we're going to start a new chapter of part 2 of the economics, which is chapter 5, and the name of the chapter is graphic presentation. So right away we're going to start with the exercise, the practical questions of chapter 5. In this chapter we're going to learn about how to draw a histogram, a frequency polygon, a frequency curve, and ogive of less than a modern frequency distribution. So I want you to open page number 220. First question, practical questions. Yeah, I haven't written down the question here. You can't see the question on my screen. I did it purposely because I want you to open your textbook while I go through and while I give you this tutorial. So the first question, it says, make a histogram on the basis of following frequency distribution. So I want you to look into the question carefully and then see what there is something missing there in the question. Yeah, so please look carefully in the marks given. So the marks given here are the class intervals are 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 40, and 40 to 70. So if you look carefully, you will see that frequency distribution is uneven here. It is 0 to 10 here, it is 10 to 20, 20 to 40, 40 to 70. Yeah, so this type of questions are called unequal class interval. So with this type of question, you cannot directly go and make a histogram. You have to first adjust the frequency and then go ahead and make the histogram. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So for this question, I want you to make 4 columns here. The first one, you have to write marks and write the class interval as it is that is given in the textbook, 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 40, and 40 to 70. Follow up with the second column, you write the frequency distribution as it is given in the textbook, 10, 14, 30, and 18. So the additional 2 columns that we are making here, it will be based for class size and adjusted frequency. So the class size, if you look into the class size here, how do we find class size? Class size you can find out by subtracting upper limit by lower limit. Yeah, upper limit minus lower limit, then you will get the class size. So 10 minus 0 is 10, 20 minus 10 is 10, 40 minus 20 is 20, 70 minus 40 is 30. So this is how we find the class size. Okay, so the fourth column here, we're going to write another of adjusted frequency. The heading should be adjusted frequency here. Now, how do we find adjusted frequency? So the formula to find out adjusted frequency is minimum class size divided by class size into frequency. So the minimum class size here, if you look here into the class size, the minimum class size is what? Is 10. So minimum class size divided by the class size into frequency. So the minimum class size here, for the first one, for the first class interval 0 to 10, the minimum class size is 10. Yeah, 10 divided by the normal class size, it is 10 into 10. Into 10, this is a frequency. Okay, you see here. Minimum class size divided by class size into frequency. So if you divide this one, 10, 10, you will get 10. You will get 14 here. So if you do this one, yeah, so 2, 0, 0, 2, so you get 15. Similarly, if you keep on doing this one, 3, 6, 18, so you get 6 here. So this is the adjusted frequency. Now, in order to make a histogram, what all do you need? You need marks, that is a class interval, and you need frequency. So you will not be using this frequency now, but you will be using the adjusted frequency for your histogram. Okay, so let's go ahead and make a histogram first now. All right, so I am this is my graph. Okay, so here I have already prepared the graph for me here, so I'm just going to go ahead and then use that one. Let me just change the background. Okay, so now here you see I have already prepared the class interval here. So here the first class, you first have to make the first quadrant, that is the x-axis and the y-axis. Here in x-axis you're going to write down the marks, or you can just write down here class interval, okay? Because this x-axis is for class interval and y-axis is for number of students. We usually write it like this, but it is up to you. But you have to mention what you're taking for x-axis and what you're going to take for y-axis. All right, you also have to mention the scale here. So you can just write here as scale, scale. For x-axis, I'm going to take 1 unit is equal to 10 marks. Yeah. For x-axis, I'm going to take 1 unit is equal to 10 marks. Okay. And for y-axis, I'm going to take 1 unit is equal to 5 students. I've taken 5, 10, 15. If you see, the difference is 5. So I'm going to take y-axis equal to 5 students. All right, now I've written down the scale for x-axis and y-axis. You just have to plot the mean here. Now for first graph, if you have noticed, we have taken 0 to 10 is equal to 10. So now 0 to 10 is equal to 10. So 10 is here, so you just make a bar here, okay? The next is 10 to 20. So the next is 10 to 20. 10 to 20 is 14. So this is 15. So since I'm taking 1 unit is equal to 10 students here, and if you notice in your graph book, there will be small line that you will see, right? So if you go ahead with that, then every 2 line will give you 1 student, okay? So if I go accordingly, then my 14 will lie somewhere here. So I'm going to just make a graph here. Okay, so this is my next 10 to 20, 14 students. Next is 20 to 40. 20 to 40 is 15 students. So 20 to 40. So it is not 20 to 30 in your textbook. If you see carefully, it says 20 to 40. So it is 20 to 40. So till here, from 20 to 40, you have to bring it and then make a line till 15. So 20 to 40 is 15 students. Yeah. Now, last one is 40 to 70 is 6 students. 40 to 70 is how many students? 6 students. So from 40 to 70, 6 students. So 5 is here. So 6 will be here, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So 6 is here. So we just make a line here. So this is your histogram. Okay, this is how you make your histogram. So every time you have to first carefully look into the class interval. If the class interval that is given in the question is equal, then it is very easy to make. But if it is unequal, then you have to first adjust the frequency and then make the histogram. Clear? And there is a difference between bar graph and histogram. I'm sure you are aware of that. In bar graph, there is a space. You can put space in between. But in histogram, there is no space. Okay, let me just change the background so that it will be like this. Clear? All right. So this is it for question number 1. So we're going to do one more question of question number 2, and with that we will be in question number 2. If you look the question carefully, you're asked to draw a histogram, frequency curve, and frequency polygon, all the 3. Yeah. So I'll be showing you one more question of how to do question number 2, and after which I want you to do once we're done with question number 2, I want you to solve question number 3, question number 7, and 8. So question number 3, question number 7, and question number 8 are your homeworks. Okay, I'm just going to write it down here so that you will not forget. So question number 3, question number 7, and question number 8 are your homeworks. Okay, so this is your homework. Now, let's move on to question number 2. All right. So here again in question number 2, if you look carefully, it's just you can't see the class interval there. It is not given, right? You're only given the midpoint, and after that you're given the frequency. But as we know, in order to make a histogram, you will be needing class interval. Yeah. So let's first make the class interval, and after which we'll go ahead and make the polygon, curve, and histogram. So in such questions, when only midpoints are given and you are asked to make the class interval by yourself, you have to follow this formula. Okay, I've already prepared in advance so that it will be less time consumption, but I'm going to tell you how to do it. Clear? So the first one, in order to get the midpoint, lower limit and upper limit, what you have to do is you have to follow this formula. Clear? So let's write like this. Let midpoint be x1. So let midpoint is equal to x1. So this is your x1. This is this formula that you see. This one is for lower limit. This one is for upper limit. So here I is referring to the difference or the class size. Okay. So here x1, you see it is a midpoint, and the midpoint is already given here, 20 minus the difference here. If you see the difference, 30 minus 20 is 10, 40 minus 30 is 10, 50 minus 40 is 10, 60 minus 50 is 10, 70 minus 60 is 10. So here the class size is 10. Okay, so divided by 2. So 20 minus 10 by 2. So if you do this one, you will get 5. 20 minus 5 is 15. And for upper limit, 20 plus 10 by 2. 20 plus 5 is 25. So 10 by 25 is the first class interval. So for the rest of it, you don't have to keep doing it, because if you look here, if the class interval is uneven, if the class size is uneven, then only you will have to prepare all the class intervals. But if the class size is all the same, then therefore that means the difference between the class intervals are also same. So what you can do is 15 to 25. Next, you can just write it 25 to 35, 35 to 45, 45 to 55, 55 to 65, and 65 to 75. So write down the midpoint. How do we calculate midpoint? Upper limit plus lower limit divided by 2. So if you just see here, although it's already given the textbook, you can just check it out. 25 plus 15 is 40. 40 divided by 2 will give you 20. Similarly, this one, 60 by 2, 30, 80 by 2, 40, 100 by 2, 50, 120 by 2, 60, and 140 by 2, 70. So these are your midpoints, and the frequency is already given there. So you just write down the frequency as it is. Now you have the class interval and also the frequency. So now you can make a histogram. So let's go ahead and make the histogram for question number 2. Now, even here, I've already prepared the histogram in advance. Now here, if you look carefully, see the class scale here, the difference is 10. But if you see 0 to 15, here the difference is 15, right? But if you go ahead and make here 0, 0 to 10, 10, 20, 30, like that, then our histogram will be in between. So just to make sure that it is simple, what we can do is you can just write down every unit that you can take. The extra unit you can just do like this. Okay, that it's a useless part. Clear? Until unless if our class interval is starting from 0, like the previous question that we solved, that is for 0 to 10, right? So we don't have to make this one. But in case if it is uneven, then you can just just check it off like this. It's not required. Okay, so the next is 15 to 25, 25, 35, 45, 55, 65, and 75. So that you have already written down. So let's again make a scale here. For the x-axis, we're going to take 10. So here, just write 1 unit is equal to 10 class interval. Yeah, you can just write class interval. For y-axis, 1 unit is equal to 4 frequency, right? So here x-axis is class interval, y-axis is frequency. Clear? Now you can make the histogram here. So it's 15 to 25, the value is 4. 25 to 35, it is 6. 35 to 45, it is 10. 45 to 55, it is 12. 55 to 65, it is 18. And 65 to 75, it is 7. So this is how we make the histogram. Now, how do we make polygon and curve? So let's first make the polygon, okay, frequency polygon. So how do we make frequency polygon now? So you see, let me just clear this off, okay, this portion. Okay, so when we are going to make a polygon, what we have to do here, frequency polygon, what we have to do here is we have to always, you see this rectangle that you see, every box that you see, you have to take out a midpoint here. Clear? So let's get a midpoint. Let's take green color. So you see, if you see, the midpoint will be somewhere here. The middle point. Since I don't have a proper graph here, so I'm just doing it like this. You can make it properly, okay? So what you can do here now is you have to make a straight line, join each point with a straight line, and that will be a frequency curve. Sorry, frequency polygon. Okay? All right. So let's take this red color and let's join this line. You have to make a straight line. So from here, yeah, from here you join here. You have to make sure that you're touching the point, okay? All right, so this is our frequency polygon. Now, both frequency polygon and frequency curve, both are almost the same. The only thing that you have to do here is that in frequency polygon, you have to make a straight line, and in frequency curve, you have to make a smooth line, yeah, curved line. So here, let's take another color and then just outline this. So what we're going to do is we're just going to make a smooth curve here. But make sure that you touch each point. Alright, so this is our frequency curve. So here we're just going to label it so that it becomes easy for us to understand what is what, right? So what we have used is we have used a bar to show that it's a histogram. So you can just, for labeling, you can just make it here. Actually, we use a green color, so let's take green color on it. Alright, so we use this, right, to denote a frequency, a rectangle type to denote a frequency, to denote a histogram. So just let's write it down, histogram here. Histogram. We used what? We used a straight line with red color. We use a straight line with red color, and also we have labeled it with a dot, right? So we're going to just make a dot here. Okay, so this is for our frequency polygon. All right, now we have used blue color for a smooth curve, although it doesn't look that smooth, but you have to make it this way. Okay, so this is blue color is for frequency curve. All right, so this is how you make histogram, frequency curve, and frequency polygon. Okay, so now, as mentioned in the previous topic, previous question, that you will be doing question number 3, question number 7, and question number 8 as your homework. And in the next tutorial, I'll teach you how to make more than and less than or GIF, and that you will be using for learn it properly and then apply the same for your project work as well. Clear? And even the same histogram and polygon here, you're going to use it the same. You're going to apply the same technique in your project work as well. Okay, so this is it for today. I'll see you all in the next tutorial.